Yeah, so I haven't met with the Raiders this week, but got the ability to interview with a couple other teams. Um, like you said, that's a legend player right there, so it'd definitely be an honor to get drafted there and play there.
Said, what did you learn from being, at least from a leadership standpoint, at UPL, and how did that kind of carry over to your time at UNC?
Yeah, I think I learned a lot being a leader in high school. I think I've evolved as a leader as well. One of the biggest things I felt like I learned was learning my teammates and learning how they respond to different styles of leadership. Some guys you might have to light a fire in. Some guys you might have to put your arm around their shoulder and kind of talk to them one on one a little bit more calmer. I think that's an effective leader understands his teammates, and I think by doing that you can definitely get the best out of your teammates.
Was there like an example of it? Like, was there a guy that you kind of looked to, maybe at UNC or in high school, maybe outside the coach's line, that showed you the way?
Yeah, in college, I say when I first got there, I had a linebacker named Jeremiah Gimmel. I looked at him; he was like my OG. He taught me the ropes, taught me how to watch film, just a whole bunch of different things. Just taught me the way of life in college football, and I think that was very beneficial, especially when I stepped into a leadership role at Carolina.
Let's say someone hasn't seen you play since your days started. What would be the thing they'd notice about? Wow, this guy's gotten really good at this or that, or what kind of improvement have you made from that time?
Yeah, I think I made a lot of improvements. I don't know if many people know this, but I played a little bit of wide receiver in high school. That was kind of my main position. I played a little bit of linebacker as well, but I think I just evolved as a football player, making the transition to linebacker and really learning the position and the different ins and outs. In high school, I was just playing off of pure athleticism. So really just understanding and learning technique, learning scheme, and all that different things, I think really has evolved in my game.
He said, "Did you know with the Cowboys?"
No, sir.
So your relationship with your brothers is really important. Like I'm close with my brothers as well. But how does that translate to the football?
Yeah, I'm extremely close with my brothers. In particular, my oldest brother. Um, my parents kind of split when we was younger, and my mom kind of invited my older brother to kind of come live with us to kind of just help me out, keep me on the right track, and different things like that. So me and him are extremely close. I remember in high school we would do like position drills in the backyard and different things like that. But I definitely feel like he wants this dream just as much as I want it for myself, and that means the world to me. And I want to be able to live out my dream with him.
And Palomalu and Matt.
Yeah, let me clear this up because the guy on the broadcast got it wrong. So that tattoo is actually a representation of me and my brothers and our favorite players when we were little. My favorite player was Troy Polamalu. One of my brothers, his favorite player, he was a Giants fan, was Eli Manning, and my other brother was a Cowboys fan, was a Tony Romo. So that kind of explains the tattoo that I got on my arm.
And like, have you taken any, let's say, factors from those three players, right, and kind of adopted those to make up the player that is Ced Gray?
Yeah, definitely Troy Polamalu. Like I said, that was one of my favorite players when I was little, growing up. Just the effort that he played with, the tenacity and the physicality that he plays with. I try to model that and put some of that stuff into my game today.
As far as linebackers in today's NFL, obviously Troy Polamalu is right at the number. What linebackers in the NFL now that you're watching to try to mold your game, especially the fact that you're still fairly new to the position?
Right. Yeah, I'm a big Fred Warner fan. I feel like we have similar play styles, sideline to sideline, very physical linebackers. I feel like we have similar body types and different things like that. So I definitely tried to mold my game after him. And he's probably, if not the best linebacker in the NFL right now. So it's definitely a guy to look after. Somebody I've recently kind of started watching is Zaire Franklin from the Indianapolis Colts. He's been a very just solid linebacker this past season. So those are probably two guys that I kind of watched and looked after this past season. Yeah, Drake, I love Drake. If you guys don't know, me and Drake are both Charlotte guys. So I played against him in high school. We also played on the same 7-on-7 team. Like I said, I played wide receiver in high school, so he was my quarterback. So we have a great relationship, known him for a long time. In practice, we like to talk trash to each other. We compete and different things like that. But he's just a great competitor, a great leader, and I just love that I had the ability to kind of have him as my teammate at Carolina.
Was your favorite story in high school?
I'd probably say so. This is hard to say, but Drake knocked me out of the playoffs my senior year. But at the beginning of the game, I had made Drake fumble and recovered the ball. So that was probably like my favorite little memory playing against him.
How much do you bring up that?
Oh, I bring it up to him all the time, all the time. But Drake's a great guy. Like, I got a story about this past off season. In practice he was kind of throwing like some back shoulder passes to some tight ends versus me during practice, and I was like, what's making you like always throw that back shoulder against me? And for him to kind of give me an insight of why he is doing that, and to make me a better football player as a linebacker in coverage, I think that was amazing. It just shows his true leadership.
Does that make this process easier when you're going from teammates like that? Lean on more, be consistent with each other.
Yeah, it definitely makes this process easier. Have guys that you played with in college. There's a few guys that I know here that I played against or played with in high school, and different things like that. So it's definitely good to see some familiar faces, and we can put on for the city of Charlotte. Yeah, so it's always been my dream to play Power Five football. If you don't know about me, University of North Carolina was the only Power Five school to offer me a scholarship coming out of high school. I had a lot of like FCS level offers at wide receiver, but I didn't really care. I really prided myself on being a football player. So whether it was at wide receiver or a linebacker, it really didn't matter to me. And like I said, UNC was the only Power Five school that kind of believed in me at the time. So that's why I kind of picked it.
They said, what would it mean to be in a linebacker room with Fred Warner and Greg Greenlaw? Have you had a chance to meet or play with the 49ers?
Yeah, I think I met with the 49ers up at the Senior Bowl. I haven't met with them here. But that would mean a lot, to learn from two great all-pro guys like that, Dre Greenlaw and Fred Warner. I feel like I would learn so much from them and just make me an overall better player. Yes, I have met with the Houston Texans while I was here. Yeah, that's an amazing opportunity, like you said, a former linebacker, to be able to kind of get that firsthand coaching from him, and just grow as a player. I think it would be really, really amazing.
You said you had yourself maybe without Fred Warner, you kind of coached him. It kind of feels like a pretty good fit there, right?
Right, definitely feels like it's a pretty good fit. So, we'll see what happens in the process. Yeah, I'd probably say just the way that I attack, every offseason. Like I said, I came into UNC with a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, being a lower ranked guy and different things like that. I knew my opportunity would kind of come one day. So I just kept working year in and year out. Sophomore year, I got the ability to start after 3 games into the season. So you definitely could see a lot raw talent out there on the field my sophomore year. And I think junior year, I just tried to evolve as a player, just trying to improve everything that I feel like I can improve on. And I think it showed in that junior season.
Do you think your time playing wide receivers kind of helped make you a better linebacker at all?
Oh yes, definitely. Just the athleticism part. I feel like I move well for a linebacker. I feel like I have great ball skills. I feel like I made a few interceptions where you can kind of see those ball skills kind of come into play. Understanding how wide receiver run routes, just the little techniques and the different triggers that they might do while running a route, to kind of expect what's coming. So I definitely feel like that has benefited me a lot in the linebacker position.
High school, where you mostly played both receiver and linebacker, was like receiver. What was your primary?
Yes, in high school, my primary position was wide receiver, but I did play both sides of the ball. The weak side linebacker. That's why I played all 4 years at Carolina, being the weak side linebacker. But I've played some Mike linebacker as well. But definitely that weak side linebacker position. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely like that weak side seek and destroy position. I think that plays right into my play style. I feel like I'm a very sideline to sideline linebacker. I have good speed, athleticism. So I think that does just play right into my play style. Yes, I've met with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Formal. Yeah, that would be amazing. That's a legend in the game. in the NFL game. He's a great linebacker in this league. Like I said, I feel like I would be able to learn a lot from a guy like him, just an NFL veteran and a very great professional.
Said you were an excellent senior. What about playing with some of the best players in this draft class really inspired you to play?
Yeah, I mean, I think the Senior Bowl was a huge opportunity to kind of compete with the best players in the country, and I feel like I came out of that feeling like I competed very, very well. So it was a huge honor to be there, to meet guys, learn from NFL coaches at the Senior Bowl. So it was definitely a great experience.
Said you had a chance to meet with the Steelers and Mike Tomlin so far.
Yes, I met with the Steelers at the Senior Bowl. Met up with Mike Tomlin at the Senior Bowl, and I had an informal interview with the Steelers as well.
What was your impression of Mike Tomlin and the Steelers? What
Oh,
was your
I,
impression of him?
I love Mike Tomlin. If you heard earlier, Troy Polamalu was my favorite player. So I was a Steelers fan growing up. So it was definitely a huge honor to meet a guy like Mike Tomlin and what he's done for this league and the NFL and different things like that. So it was definitely a huge honor.
What do you